What's up? What's up? What's up? Can you guys hear that background noise? Let me see if I can. Honestly, I kind of like the soundtrack. Some of you may recognize it if you can hear it. What's up? What's up? What's up? Oh, I'm echoing. There we go. What am I doing? What am I doing? Anybody recognize it? Give you a little golf clap if you do. For those of you who have been around for a while, you know what time of the year it is. You know what's about to go down. And the reason it's going to go down is because I am not getting submissions. Is it still echoing? There you go. It's not echoing anymore, right? Oh, I know why it's echoing. Yes, it is. We're going to X this sound out. This background noise. Whoa, why is that? Whoa, where's that sound coming from? I am so bad at this. All right, no more echo? Whoa, there's another sound coming from somewhere. And it's tripping me out. All right. It must just be my computer glitching now. Here, hold on. I don't want to close this. I'm so bad at the internet. Oh, because I had two open. There we go. There we go. There we go. This background noise. All right, but we'll get to that in a second. For those of you who have been around a while, you know what's about to go down. And the reason it's going to go down is because I'm not getting submissions for my free camera Fridays. I got two, and I've been waiting on a third. I'm excited to share it, and I'm also excited to rack up the book count because it was a good week. It was a good week. The video that I'm sure a lot of you saw, it's getting a little traction. Cop lies, dash cam saves me. I was really excited for that video, and I'm actually extra excited that it seems like a lot of people like the way that it was presented in the story I told. So you know how much I love storytelling, and when I can tell a story effectively and entertainingly. Entertainingly. Is that a word? Entertainingly. He did it entertainingly. He did it with entertainment. Is entertainingly the word? I don't know. But it is today. It is on my channel. So anyway, I was very excited that the story was well received, and honestly, it's something that not to sound dramatic, but it's something I'm passionate about because whenever you have conversations about police, it's like you can't have a conversation. It's most things these days. Everything's polarizing. You can't have conversations without people saying like back the blue or defund the police. And it's like most things, the truth is somewhere in the middle. And what I really liked about the story that I presented, the story that happened to me, I kind of got lucky with the fact that, I'm assuming most of you have seen this video. If you haven't, I won't give a spoiler alert, but the end's what brings it all together. But I got kind of lucky in the sense that the cop who pulled me over, there was a story about him online that showed exactly what I was trying, not just trying to say, but what I fully believe. I fully believe that 99% of cops are they signed up to help, and the position we put them in, pulling people over trivial stuff, it's a lose situation for everybody. So I thought it was kind of cool finding the story about that officer, showing how effective cops can be. The same cop that was in that situation holding me up when I just wanted to get to bed over some nonsense, actually did a really, really cool thing that, literally could have potentially saved somebody's life and, saved another person from going to prison. So So I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, what's up, guys? I'm not getting Uber stories, but it sounds like Brandon Neal has a huge, crazy Uber story. Um, if you would like to share it, you can drop it in the comments, or you can email best-camfootage@gmail.com, and you can submit it, for a free camera on Free Camera Friday. Now, I'm not gonna track the numbers until we get another official Free Camera Friday going. But between me and you on the what do you call it? Offhand topic, on the offhand counting, I mean to say, last I checked, got about 23 audiobook downloads, got 3 paper book sales, and 3 ebook sales. So this was my best week by far. Shout out to everybody who downloaded a copy. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. This has been my best week ever since, when I launched the book. That was good. And then the video, I don't know if you remember, where the girls stole the book from my car while I was driving. I sold a good bit of books from that video as well. Which I didn't have the audiobook then. If I did, I bet more people. I just think more people will be inclined to, download an audiobook about silly Uber stories, because it's like an enjoyable thing to listen to while walking. But anyway, yeah, so Doge Invictus. I don't know if that's a crypto reference, but crypto's doing well today, so that's cool. But I do indeed stream Free Camera Fridays, but what I'm doing today, because the Phillies are in the playoffs, we are bringing it back. We are bringing it back to, man, I really got to sign up for the no ads things. It's just worth it. We're bringing it back to what we do when the Phillies are in the playoffs. And for those of you who have been around for a while, you know where I'm going with this. For those of you who aren't, who are new, or you're, just not familiar, we're about to get hit with some nostalgia that even if you're young, you'll just feel it. And I figure while we're doing that, it'll be good background. We can chat, maybe a little Uber Q&A. Love to hear some of your stories. But at the end of the day, what you need to understand is Uber driver with passenger behind trying to drive him, like, cut it out, trying to drive here. Yeah, that's a funny clip. Oh, thanks, Terrence. I appreciate it. It's fun to have you along for the ride. So for those of you who are new here or don't know where I'm going with this, I'm a Philly-based Uber driver, and I love me some Phillies. And in the past, what we do when the Phillies are in the playoffs is we bring up the tried and true Ken Griffey Jr., baby. Call me, Junior. How do you restart this? Let's hear it. You ready? Call me, Junior. That just makes me feel warm inside whenever I hear it. That just makes me feel so happy. So what we do here, and this will just be a background thing, I'm hoping to hang out and chat with you guys as we play. But what this is this, my friends, is not just a video game we're going to play. This is a predictor of the outcome of tomorrow's game. And what we're going to do is, after this game, whatever the final score is, we're going to place a bet on the exact score, whatever those odds are. And one of these days, the Driver Ed Show will accurately predict the we can't do this. Oh, no, it's a home game. Can't do this. We'll accurately predict the outcome of the real life game. Now, how do I go back? B, maybe? Oh, yeah. We gotta go. Now, how do I make it so... How do I make it so I'm home? There we go. I still got it, baby. Gotta put Z for those wondering. Oh, no. No, 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 no. I ain't gonna be the Dodgers. I'm not gonna be the Dodgers. Come on now. Here we go. Back to the vet, baby. Tonight game, 6:38, 6:36 tomorrow. What's up, Andrea? Oh, let's do these settings. We gotta. All right, let's see. All-Star will be for the World Series. Veteran will be for the NLCS, and Rookie will be for this. However, tomorrow we got Ohtani on the mound, and we also got Sanchez pitching. The over-under 7.5. I think we got to do All-Star because it's going to be a low-scoring game. And if I don't do that, I don't think the score is going to be accurate. But then again, you know, they run numbers up on the Dodgers bullpen. Why don't we do veteran? What do you think of veteran? It is technically the second round of the playoffs. All right. Let's rock, baby. We'll pause the time lapse. So what's up, guys? My Uber in Tampa years ago was the dude who landed a helicopter on the Capitol lawn as protest for something having to do with him being a mailman. What? What? I definitely got to look that up. We'll be looking that up after the first inning. Holy smokes. That's crazy. It's crazy that he's out of jail. Or prison. I'm sure that's prison. What would I look up? Guy lands helicopter on White House lawn. Pops right up. Oh my God, it's in 1974? All right, we're not even waiting for the first. All right, we'll wait for the first inning. That's crazy. That is crazy. I'm excited to read this story. Actually, maybe I'll read it in between pitches. The 1974, I'll show you guys here. We'll pause it here. This is what I'm reading. Oh, man, how do we do this? Oh, you know what I can do? What if I do this? Yeah, we'll get the double screen going. That's what we do. It's probably a little hard to read, so I'll move it over here. All right. Now we're cooking with oil. Dude, that's hilarious. What was he like? How come I can't make this smaller? Come on, man. All right, well, this is what happens when you play a game from 1996. Here we go. All right. All right, this is what we're doing here. All right, now we're cooking with oil. Boom. All right, let's rock. Oh, this is the wrong one? Well, I kind of want to know about it. Oh, this is a stolen helicopter. Took off on February 17th, my grandma's birthday. Private First Class Robert Kenneth Preston, took off in a stolen Bell UHB Iroquois Huey helicopter from Tipton Field, Maryland. Dude, why isn't this working? There we go. Sorry, this is how my brain works. And this is what it's like being inside my head, doing a million things at once. Preston had enlisted in the Army to become a helicopter pilot. However, he did not graduate from the helicopter training course and lost his opportunity to attain the rank of warrant officer pilot. His enlistment bound him to serve for 4 years in the Army, and he was sent to Fort Meade as a helicopter pilot. Preston believed this situation was unfair and later said he stole the helicopter to show his skill as a pilot. Shortly after midnight, Preston, on leave, was returning to Tipton Field south of Fort Meade. 30 helicopters at the base were fueled and ready to fly. He took off in one without turning on its anti-collision lights or making the standard radio calls. The Maryland State Police were alerted. Preston flew southwest towards Washington, D.C., and he hovered close to the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument and over to the south lawn of the White House. He then flew back to Fort Meade with 2 Jet Ranger police helicopters and police cars in pursuit. Imagine being a police car chasing a helicopter in the sky. After a chase over Maryland, he reversed course towards Washington again and entered the White House grounds. The Secret Service opened fire this time. Preston was lightly wounded, landed the helicopter. They were shooting at him while he was in the air and was arrested and held in custody. Preston pleaded guilty to wrongful appropriation and breach of the peace, and the plea began at his court-martial. He was sentenced to 1 year in prison, 6 months of which time was served, and a fine of $2,400. After his release, Preston received a general discharge from the Army, died of cancer in 2009. So, as you mentioned, this was not the same guy because Uber wasn't around then. This is probably something I should not say without clarifying. This is a joke, but joke, FBI, CIA, if you're watching this, and again, this is 1974, this would not, I guarantee you the reaction would not be the same this day and age, especially how polarizing things were. But 6 months and a fine of $2,400? I mean, he's got a hell of a story. That is crazy. That's a crazy story. I'm just more shocked he wasn't punished more. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. Oh man, that's crazy. All right, so let's find this other guy. Doug Hughes is the other guy that we're looking for. Now, so that was just a story we found. But Doug Hughes is the Uber driver. We'll see. Doug Hughes helicopter on White House lawn. Pops right up. Oh, he's a mail carrier. Going postal. All right, let me get this guy out, and then we'll read about Doug Hughes. Man, he must tell that to every single Uber rider. You know, he must be like, "Yep, this is." Oh man, where's your money, Blue Blazer? Who are you? All right, I'll read this after. I'll read this while I'm pitching. That's crazy. What was he like as a driver? Oh, let's go. Whoa, way early. Oh, I'm about to get 2. Nice. Way to run it out, Dykstra. Greg Jeffries. Got to get back in the swing of things. Damn it. Sorry, Eddie. Thought this was another streamer. I was like, what? Like, all my debts are paid. All right. Douglas Hughes is an American former postal worker and political activist, now Uber driver, apparently in Tampa, known for landing a one-man ultralight gyrocopter on the lawn of the United States Capitol on April 15, 2015. It's the day the Titanic sunk. Hughes was carrying 535 letters, one to each member of Congress, protesting what he referred to as bipartisan corruption and dysfunctional government. He surrendered peacefully after landing on the Capitol Police. After landing to the Capitol Police. Ryan, please tell me. He definitely tells every rider. Said I staged a protest at the Capitol once. I'm like, oh, okay. Then says, yeah, landed a helicopter on the lawn. I was like, what? Ryan, please tell me you asked him if he was there on January 6th. I need to know. Like, I feel like it's going one of two ways. It's either like, oh, you guys are walking up the White House steps? Pfft, been there, done that. That's child's play, Or it's like he's all in, Oh my God, I need to know if he went back on January 6th. That is crazy. That is too funny. Wait, when did this say this was? Oops. 2015. Dude, that's like... I'll get to that in a second. So let's finish this. Hughes was later charged with 6 crimes, pleaded guilty in November 2015 to 1 felony, and was sentenced to 120 days plus 1 year probation. Dude, listen, man. This is the second time. There is something about landing helicopters on the White House where they do not punish you. Like, what is going on with that? These are like 120 days. What's that, 4 months? Are you kidding me? What... Listen, man, I'll talk your ear off about police reform and prison reform and all that kind of stuff, and I'll be hard pressed to find situations where I'm like, yeah, prison would be better. Prison helps. Stronger sentencing helps. Like, most of the time it makes things worse. I'm just saying, I think there needs to be a little more incentive for people to not steal helicopters and land them on White House lawns, Maybe it's one of those things like that drug salvia. I've never used it, never even seen it. Couldn't tell you anything about it other than it makes you go crazy. And from what I understand, it wasn't illegal. It's not illegal in some states. I think they've recently made it illegal in Philadelphia or Pennsylvania or something. But historically, it hasn't been illegal because... it's so unenjoyable. People just don't have an interest in doing that. And I share that to say that maybe these punishments aren't that strict because most normal people don't need to be deterred from flying a helicopter on the White House lawn. But that is just so crazy. That cracks me up. 2017 when he gave me a ride. All right, so what do you think, Ryan? Do you think he was there on January 6th? Or do you think he was like... I bet he was there. What's your opinion about Uber planning to cars that are controlled by a guy from India? You mean like they call it self-driving car? Really? I did not know that. Honestly, that would make a lot more sense. I mean, is this true? Is there any like is there any like proof or like is this like a conspiracy thing, or is this like do they actually use like centers, like technology centers to have humans control it remotely? Because that would kind of make sense. I know that's basically what the Air Force does, and there's obviously there's transition pains, for lack of a better term, of like convincing the public that it's okay that autonomous vehicles are safe. And honestly, I'm kind of the camp where I used to like hate the idea of them. Oh, I was about to get thrown out. But I've said this once. I said it a million times. I drive around and I'd like to look left and right. Just looking around, or like when I'm walking, I look in people's cars, and I do that to get a gauge on how many people are texting and driving. And if you ever want to just like with Halloween coming up, if you want an actual scare, just sit on a street corner and look in the cars, and you will see how many people are texting and driving, and it will scare the absolute ish out of you. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Um, so all that's to say is, I used to be like, driverless vehicles are nuts, but driver full vehicles are nuts. And I feel like there's a nice in between of like, okay, you got an automated vehicle with human technology in a center, like controlling it. That's kind of like a happy marriage between both worlds. And then naturally, if they could do it, if they could outsource that to a different country, it's cheaper. That just makes sense that they would do that. Um, that's interesting. I did not know. I did not know that's a thing. I never thought of that. It makes a lot of sense. Let's see. Is it like, and like I'm not saying I don't believe you. I just don't know. I'm not saying I don't believe. This sounds like something my parents would say to me. I'm not saying I don't believe you. I just need a way to verify what you're saying. I'm just saying, like, is this something that's like documented? And I ask that because I can imagine it's not a great it's not a great optic for Uber to say, yeah, not only are we cutting drivers, not only are we taking jobs away from American drivers, we're outsourcing these new jobs, internationally. That's why I asked that. Um, it sounds totally plausible. It sounds something exactly like Uber would do. But what I'm saying is, I'm curious if it's something that has been documented and like Uber like is upfront about, or if it's something like what we Uber drivers know with promotions, that when you get close to a promotion, Uber's not going to give you rides so that they don't have to pay you. That's not documented. And for anyone who doesn't drive Uber, you talk about it and they say like, oh, you're just, that's a conspiracy. That's not actually happening. Yeah, yeah. But if you do drive Uber, if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. So what I'm asking is this something that, has been documented, or is it a duck? Quack, quack. I did see Dara Ashashari, or however you say his name. I actually listened to the whole thing. It was like a half an hour, business forum. And he basically said, like, yeah, he's given drivers like 5 to 7 years, and then they hope to be fully automated. And, a lot of people are going to lose jobs. And I was honestly surprised that he was so upfront about it. But I feel like Uber's just at the point where they're like, look, Drivers know we don't give a F about them, so why keep up the charade anymore? I mean, he said it much more politely, but I think Uber's just accepted like, yeah, this is a tough gig for drivers. There's going to be a high turnover rate. Like, why put the energy into saving them? Let's see. He was probably there on January 6th as one of the FBI. He probably was. That's pretty good. Oh man. Some states already happening. Cars don't have drivers. They can pay the people that control. Of course, yeah. People texting driving on the highway as well. Dude, the highway is what really scares me, man. I'm on 95. I always like, for whatever reason, right by this in Philly, right by the stadium, right by the sewage plant, past the airport, on the way to the airport, on the way to the stadiums. I swear, there's something about that turn or whatever it is in the road. It just like always causes me to look to my side. And every time I do it, man, somebody's texting as we're going like 60, 70 miles an hour. What's up, Vaquero? Thanks, man. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I didn't know about that at all. I'm definitely going to look into that. It doesn't surprise me. Dude, there's an element too. I was just telling my buddy, like, I've been so checked out of things. Oh, that's what I was going to say about Doug Hughes. I'm actually glad you said that. I have been, like, deliberately checked out of, like, current events and, like, things that impact me. And, as far as Uber, as far as Uber, I've said this for a while. In my market, it's been tough to make money. It's hard for me with my current life schedule to work Friday and Saturday night till 2 or 3 a.m., which is, I do think there's still a pretty good opportunity in Philly to do that. Um, but what it used to be, like, it's a lot harder to make money. So that said, I haven't kept a pulse on like the day-to-day operations of Uber as much as I have, just because it doesn't affect me. But the big picture, Uber is something I've just always been interested in. I think it's fascinating what's happening with it, or what has happened with it. Um, oh, but all that said, and the reason I'm glad you brought that up, and the reason these PlayStation 6 graphics are insane. That's insane. Oh, damn. So this Douglas Hughes guys happens on April 15th, 2015. I was, I was a fully functional adult. I don't know where I was in life right then. April 15th. I was working at Penn. Yeah, I was just like, I wasn't like, oh, yes, let's go. The point I'm getting at is like, this happened in 2015, right? And I had no idea that it happened until you brought it up now. And it had zero effect in my life then. And the thing is, like, most people don't know about it. Like, I bet if you ask 100 people, they wouldn't know this story, right? And even if they did, they'd be like, oh, yeah, I remember that, right? If this were to happen today, if somebody were to land on the White House lawn today, Twitter would be on fire. There'd be a million memes all over Instagram. One side would be talking about how, oh, that's the side that's so violent or crazy or, da, da, da. And the other side would be defending them or what. I don't even know. But yeah, I don't know what would happen because it's just a crazy, funny event. But it's just like, the point I'm getting at is, in 2015, Instagram was new. Facebook was like not what it is today. Oh, Facebook's just different. TikTok wasn't around. If Twitter was around, it wasn't. Basically, social media wasn't what it. Social media how do I say this? Social media wasn't what it is today. And the 24/7 phone in hand constant, attention suck was not there. And so in 2015, when this happens, it doesn't become this thing that everybody knows about, you know? And my point is that I think people always forget is like we weren't missing anything. And I apply that to like what happens today. Like whatever's going on in the news today that I've been checked out of that I don't know, 2 years from now, no one's going to have any freaking idea what that, no one's going to care. Like, it's not that everything's meaningless, but it's just like if you just focus on the stuff that directly affects you, you're going to have a much easier time. To that point, and this is going to be, this might make me sound a little stupid, but I don't care because I know I'm a smart guy and it's a deliberate choice to check out of things that don't matter to me. I literally just found out that the government was shut down. I just found that out about 2 hours ago. Buddy of mine told me apparently it's been shut down since Tuesday night or Wednesday, right? And I know you might think like, oh, you need to know, you need whatever. And it's like, look, I don't work for a government entity, so it's not like I'm losing my job. I had no plans to go to a state park or anything like that. And if I did, oh, so what? I would have found out the hard way the park's closed, And it's like, I know it might make me sound ignorant or uninformed, but my rebuttal to that would be that this has been happening since Tuesday night or Wednesday, and I didn't notice any change. So to me, that's evidence that it does not affect my life, And to relate to the Doug Hughes thing and other things, the government has shut down in the past. This has been something that has happened before. And I would bet dollars to donuts that unless you're like some really politically informed correspondent or something, you couldn't tell me the last time the government shut down. Or maybe if you're a government worker, you might know that because it affects your job. And for those people, that sucks. I'm not saying that I'm unsympathetic to their situation, but the truth is, there's a lot of things that happen every day that people lose their jobs or whatever it is, and that doesn't affect me either. I'm not. Again, this might make me sound a little cold. If someone I knew told me they lost their job because the government was shut down, that sucks. But every day there's a job report of how many people lose their jobs. I'm not reading that every day. I'm not like checking in every industry to see how many people got fired and feeling for them. You know what I'm saying? So like my point is, it's like, if you just worry about the things that affect you, not only is life going to be a lot easier, but you'll see that like these things aren't that big of a deal, as evidenced by the fact that you can't remember the last time the government shut down. Or, even if you do remember it, you're still here. Ball's still rolling. World's still turning. You made it through. You'll make it through this one, But when you log on to these apps and you're just constantly getting bombarded with, world's terrible, world's ending. It's like you start to believe it, Only thing that matters. Oh no, why did I go? Only thing that matters is the Phillies beat the Dodgers on Saturday. All right, let me catch up on these. That was my little rant. Hey, Eddie, I can't remember. Do you have any experience doing Spark? That sounds familiar. Was that a ride share? Was that something related to gig work, right? Connor Maynard, why do you think it's harder to make money now? Is it because there are too many drivers and they can afford to pay less, or something else? I'll address that in a second. I almost made a video about that, and then my computer conked out and it deleted the whole thing. I was so pissed. What's up, Lori? Day's been good. How about you? Murfner, dude, no dollar sign on a piece of mind, man. It's like, a really good friend of mine was freaking out about the Epstein list. And I think it should go without saying. People are against that. The reason it's an issue is because it's such a messed up, twisted thing, right? But like, I know about it. I've heard of the stories, whatever. What do you want me to do about it? You know? Like, I I'm not in a position to like go get the files myself. And then even if that information's out, what am I going to do? Am I going to go like, I don't know, arrest the person that's on the list or something? I don't even know. Like it sounds ridiculous, but it's like, what's the end game here? You know? Like, yeah, that stuff's twisted, but like, I don't know what you want me to do. You know? Like, what do you want me to do about it? um, I've seen articles on Reddit and I've noticed this in my area. I believe this, I guess you could call it work drivers using multiple phones and multiple people to deliver order, organized crime. Hanging out, curbside spaces, blocking spaces, hanging out in the area like he's pitting it. Grocery delivery for Rona. I didn't follow that. That's what Spark does? I didn't follow that. I'm sorry. Murph, same at my work. People get laid off every once in a while and other people get mad for them and throw fits, but buddy, you're still here. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, man. And like that, it's one thing with coworkers and stuff like that, but yeah, but basically to this conversation, it's like, you know, worry about it as it affects you and your world, like, yeah, if somebody you work with gets laid off, that's a lot more concerning than somebody in your company that works across the country who gets laid off, or somebody in a different company but the same industry gets laid off, or somebody in a totally different industry that doesn't affect you get laid off. It's like, if we just focus on what matters to you and try to do your best. And I don't mean like be selfish and not care about anyone else, but I just mean like be mindful of what you're letting influence your thoughts, because if you're not, damn, then you can't do good. If you're worried, if I spend my days worried about the Epstein list, something I literally have no control over and has no consequence like on my life, it's like that's going to affect where I put my energy into the things that, my actions do have consequence with, where I can help people. It's like you got to be a little selfish to be selfless. Write that one down. Yeah, no, sorry. I'm not familiar with Spark. I'm also not familiar with getting on base, apparently. Man. This is not good, guys. This is not boding well for the Phillies. All right, so to answer your question, Connor, the reason it's hard to make money now is, yes, not only are there more drivers, but there's a lot of drivers working on illegal accounts. And there's a lot of different ways to go about getting illegal accounts, but a lot of these drivers, and this has been like this from the jump, this isn't a political thing, this is something that everybody knows. A lot of these drivers are not here legally. And the reason that matters is because they're willing to work for a lot less, because where they're coming from and what they're doing is, here for an opportunity that they don't have at home. And I've talked to a lot of these drivers, like personally. It's actually pretty remarkable. It's one of those things where it's like you got to have respect for what they're doing. It's something where I'm like, man, if I was in their shoes, I would hope that I would have the kind of wherewithal and gumption to do what they're doing. But man, like if you have it's actually kind of sad. It's harder to talk with immigrant Uber drivers now because of the climate of the world. They're like, I've heard other people say this, I've noticed it myself. They're like almost scared to talk to people. Oh, go back. Which is kind of sad, I want to be like, dude, I'm not ICE. I'm not gonna call anyone, But basically, a lot of these people are like, they're either living like in a friend or family member's house, like in the basement, or sleeping on the couch, or they're like sharing a room with like 4 or 5 other people doing the same thing. So their cost of living is really low. Get back. And they work like 60, 70 hours a week. It's insane. And what they do is they like basically send all the money that they aren't using here and they send it back to their family at home, which again is amazing. But if you look at some of these other countries, I don't know the numbers offhand. Come on, man. And we got our pitcher up. Maybe we pinch hit. You know, if some of these countries people come from, you know, their daily average wage is like, you know, $15. So to them, an Uber ride that works out to be $7 an hour is like really good money for them, because back at home, that's not the kind of money you get. And the money they send at home, if they can send $200 to their family back in their home country, that's a really big deal for them, you know? The problem for Uber drivers here is that I can't compete with that, you know? I just get undercut by them. And the way Uber's set up is that like they literally just offer the lowest rate possible until a driver takes it. So if other drivers are taking a lower rate, you know, you're basically screwed. All right. Who we getting? Batting. Let's get some power. All right, Hudler. All right, let's take this base, baby. Get out. No. Oh, man. All right. We might have a 1-0 game. So how's everyone doing today? Sorry, I was trying to be like a little conscious of how I presented that, because, you know, I try to stay apolitical, but at the same time, it's like, let's call a spade here. Oh, and again, like, this goes back to what I can control, right? Like, I know immigration was like a really big topic, is a big topic. And, you know, as someone who drives Uber, like, it literally affected me drastically. But I just always think, like, all right, is it wrong that this is happening? I don't know what you say wrong is. Like, you know, there are worse things in the world. Would I rather it not happen? Yes, I'd rather not happen. But at the same time, and this is like where my mind goes to, is like, would I be willing to like physically deport someone? Like, would I? And that's not even like. I mean, like, would I like be willing to call ICE on if I knew there was an Uber driver working hard, trying to make money for his family, and he was an illegal immigrant? Would I call ICE on him? Absolutely not. And then to take that a step further, something I always think about, it's honestly something that like it kind of puts like it puts perspective, it puts like it just makes life easier when you think about it this way. You know, just the fact that there's the thought of calling law enforcement on someone else is like a form of entitlement, you know? Like, what a world that we live in, that there's a whole like process of thought where it's like, yeah, let me call someone else to solve this problem. And so I like to take it a step further and think like, all right, would I be willing to take this Uber driver and physically escort him and his family out of the country? And that answer is fuck no. Excuse my language, but like, no, I don't have the energy for that confrontation. You know what I mean? And so it just goes back to, it's like, yeah, do I wish that do I wish that I wasn't getting undercut by driving Uber and that I could drive Uber more often because I enjoy doing it when it's a good source of income? Absolutely. But do I have the energy, or am I willing to do the things that would make that more possible? No, absolutely not. So listen, it's out of my control because I'm choosing to not take action. So what's the point of getting upset about it? You know? Any different with Lyft in what sense? Are they more easygoing in like Lyft and Uber are basically the same thing. Though I have been hearing things recently, not hearing. I've been seeing a couple. Oh, why did I do that? I don't know how to run. Oh, got it. Uh-oh, we're in a rundown, baby. Oh no, I blew it. Oh no. Oh man, and we got Mike Piazza up. I have been seeing things about how David Risher is like the CEO of Lyft is turning things around, and I do know their stock went up again just because I saw headlines. But yeah, I don't. They're basically the same thing. They've always been the same thing. And again, the problem with Lyft in Philadelphia, at least, and in most markets, is that Lyft is just not as popular. So even if they are paying better, I might get one Lyft request for every 3 Uber requests. So it's not good. All right, let's see. Let's get some leader in here. Come on, baby. Oh, get there. Got him. Lenny Dykstra for the last out. All right. Pickle! I think they yell that in Sandlot, right? All right, come on. Let's end this game 1-0. And then we're going to put in a bet. Correct score. Phillies 1-0. Payout's going to be $10 to win 12,000. Come on, Lenny. Walk off homer. Oh, drop. Damn. You know what we could bet? We could bet a shutout for both teams. Dude, why are they not subbing this guy? Drop. All right, we got a man on. Scotty Rowland. Get down. Let's go. All right, baby. Let's get a hit. That's a ball. Hey, batter, swing, batter. Oh, no. What's he say? What's Ham say? Got to get home for lunch. Hurry up. Getting hungry, got to get home for lunch. I forget what he says. What a great movie. Good eye, kid. Thank you. Shang, I am loving your baseball enthusiasm right now. Oh, no. It's all right. Leader, you're out. Shit. This could not be. Hey, the one good thing if I lose is that I've never been right yet. So I hate to break it to you guys. I know you were thinking otherwise, but believe it or not, me playing Ken Griffey Jr. baseball is not actually indicative of what will happen in real life. I know it's hard to believe, but I need to come clean with you. Oh man, I can't believe that. All right, final score 2-1. We're going to score 2 runs in the 10th. Damn, man. All right. Do girls hit on you while driving? How often? Oh! Oh! Oh, I was distracted, but I still got it to the warning track. How often is that? I talk about that in my book, which I hope you have downloaded and checked out. Link is. How do they still have this picture in? I gotta focus. But there's a great line that I always reference, and it's any country club that would want me to be a member is not a country club I want to join. And I would advise that to any Uber driver being hit on. Get down. Let's go. Let's go. Being hit on by an Uber rider. It's like, what are they doing? It's not, they definitely got a few screws loose. Oh. Shang, I appreciate you. Oh man, how did he pitch that fast? He was taking a 2-minute break in between every single one of them. Come on. But yes, this is I'm sorry for even hinting at that. This is definitely the most realistic. Oh shit. All right. Oh, this is not good. All right, Desi Relaford, baby. Come on. We're going to need some sound for this one. All right, here we go. Amen to that, Shane. Use that line. Any country club that wants me to be a member, I don't want to join. Dude, how's he getting it out there so fast? It was just off pause. No! Damn it. People of Philadelphia, I've let you down. This is horrible. This is absolutely horrible. Oh, man. God damn it. Too late for the rally cap, Shang. It's over. I blew it. Well, I'm not going to bet on the Dodgers because that goes against my religion. But let's just see what correct score 1-0 says. Or maybe we'll do under 1 run. How about that? That would be crazy. Total runs under. I mean, there's no way the Phillies don't score. Here we go, baby. All right. Where do we see? Alternate total runs. They don't even have the option. That's crazy. Under 5.5 is plus 196. I mean, we definitely got to do that, I guess. I hate that bet, though. I love betting a lot. A lot of runs. I mean, I would love to bet a lot if I had a lot. But I mean, I love betting a lot of runs. Man, that's crazy. Quarter run. How do they not have... You know what we can do? We can do first inning over under. That's a good bet to make. Love that bet. All right, we'll do that one. Under first inning. We always did that last year. All right, let's see this correct score. First 5 innings results tie. Here we go. No, first inning. There we go. All right, there's a lot of under. We're just doing under runs, which I don't necessarily believe, but, like we said, this is the most realistic simulation of all time. All right, correct score. Dodgers 1-0 is plus 4,000. That's a crazy bet. That's just a waste of money. There's no way the Phillies get blanked at home. Yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'll take the under runs, but I can't do that. It was not time to rally. Unfortunately, I have to see the Dodgers get another win. My strategy always to bet on whatever outcome I don't want to happen. That way I like that strategy. And I occasionally indulge in that strategy myself. However, when you get a win and a bet that places that wins, it's a double positive. So, damn. All right. Well, Philadelphia, I'm sorry I let you down. But, yeah, submit some stories to best-cam-footage@gmail.com. Thanks for everyone who downloaded the book. And, yeah, hopefully next week we will have some more stories to share. And, yeah, until then, thanks for watching, guys. Enjoyed hanging out. Over and out. Have a good weekend, and go Phils. I'm trying to think of a Sandlot. I'm trying to find a Sandlot quote before I sign out for you. Um, where is it? There we go. Go Giants through the Dodgers. All right, for a second there, I was worried that you were a Dodgers fan. So, all right, good. When you said I need to see the Dodgers win another one. I get what you're saying now. Yeah, that's right. Unfortunately, yeah. I'm sorry. You had to see it on the simulation. I'm sorry. All right, and I will end you all with this. Sorry, I'm looking at Sandlot quotes. I'm trying to bring the clip up. I don't got it, so I just have to say it. Remember, kids, heroes get remembered, but legends never die. Have a good weekend, guys. Go Phils!